So he was nominated for an Oscar for Pixar's Ratatouille, and now Jim Capobianco is back as director, writer, and producer of the animated film The Inventor. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Trevor.
So, can you tell us what The Inventor is about?
It's about Leonardo da Vinci when he traveled to France at the end of his life to be part of the court of King Francis I. And it's there that he meets Marguerite, the king's sister, and in a way has a bigger impact on Marguerite than the king. And Marguerite, the historical figure, is considered the first Renaissance woman. She wrote her own books. She supported the arts. She was a kind person to the people. They loved her, and I felt that in reading the historical reference for the film, I found that maybe Leonardo had a bigger impact on her, and so that became a really important touchstone for the film, a really important grounding and a way to figure out the story of the film, and that he would inspire her, and then she would carry on the legacy, in a sense, of Leonardo da Vinci into the future.
So it's kind of a continuation on your 2009 short film, but it doesn't center on what everyone knows Leonardo da Vinci for, the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I really wanted to tell a story about Leonardo in a way like the short tried to do, in the sense of a more human Leonardo, like not just the genius up on the pedestal. I really wanted to tell a story about, in his writings, he wrote, he had grocery lists. He wrote about troubles with his apprentices and things. I always felt too that, and actually in reading about him, he procrastinated. He doubted himself. So it was really human emotions and human characteristics that we don't really associate with Leonardo da Vinci, or people don't know about him. And I really wanted to focus on that so people could connect to him in a way, instead of like thinking of him as an untouchable being. Again, that genius on a pedestal that we usually put him on. I also didn't want to depict him as the crazy wizard or, the wise sage that he's usually depicted like in films. So I really wanted to bring him down to a human, personal aspect.
Right. And I foresee this being shown in schools all across the country and the world for many years, especially for this animation. It's just spectacular. There's a great blend of stop motion and 2D. How'd you come up with the idea to blend those animations?
Well, I love those two forms. I grew up and went into animation to do drawn animation, and I just loved the Warner Brothers cartoons and old Disney cartoons, and then I've always had an affinity for stop motion, and I believed, a film about Leonardo da Vinci should be handcrafted, and it just didn't feel like a computer animated film felt right to me. And so that's kind of what led me to the two forms. And because I love 2D so much, and because of his drawings, and because of, his paintings and stuff, and that they're, a 2D form, drawn form. And the stop motion aspect is a crafted, engineered, you have armatures, metals, wood, buildings, and architecture, build these sets and everything. So, and these lovely, lovely outfits and design. He was very theatrical. He designed theatrical settings and stuff. Those all fit together for me for stop motion. So combining the two, just in a way, for me, felt natural. That was the way to do it.
And with these characters, obviously, we still have this incredible voice cast: Stephen Fry, Marion Cotillard, Daisy Ridley, Matt Berry. What was it like to work with them?
It was fantastic. I pinched myself today that I actually got to work with them. And I think for such a small film as ours, it was such a blessing that they were excited to do the film and that they jumped on. I mean, Stephen Fry himself is, to me, a little Leonardo da Vinci of today, such a polymath and so intelligent. I really wanted to cast somebody with that in their voice alone. And, Stephen has that in spades. He also was a comic for many times, so he understood comic timing and he could bring that to the character. Daisy Ridley just has that wonderful voice of hers and a very powerful voice, and also has a sympathy in her voice. And I thought she just was perfect. And I don't think people know this about her, but we actually have her sing in the film, and she has this wonderful, lovely singing voice.
And so I can't not conclude this interview by asking about a potential sequel or live action adaptation or possible Broadway show for Ratatouille. Are there any plans for that?
Broadway show for Ratatouille.
Yeah. Like
Well, I love during the pandemic that they made the Ratatouille musical. I was
on
so
TikTok.
flattered by
Yeah.
that. Yes, that was just magical. It actually was a highlight for me. I mean, it was such a hard time, and that was such a highlight for me. It was just so wonderful. So I don't know. I could imagine a Ratatouille musical. A live action Ratatouille, though, no.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Make sure you catch The Inventor in theaters September 15th.